the best approach. Some think if you don't talk about it, maybe they'll never find out, but that's less and less realistic. And so, explaining what the negatives are and making sure that they don't get involved because that can be so damaging. I think the parents are the place that should start.
Bill Gates, I know that you have a limited amount of time with us, and I'm really grateful to you for taking the time out to join us live on World Have You Say and speak to all of these students around the world. A final question before you go. Since you've focused your time working on your foundation, has your level of optimism gone up or down?
I'd say it's gone up. We have this economic crisis that creates some real budget challenges, but every year things are better. Less malaria deaths, new vaccines, new drugs. The world is getting richer. In Asia, there's more scientists that are going to help with these problems. Africa is a very hopeful story. Yes, a lot of countries have it tough, but economic conditions have improved. The governance has improved there. And as countries do well, like Brazil and China, they were aid recipients. Now they don't need to receive aid. And so we can focus on less countries. And even some of those countries can turn around and start to contribute themselves. So the ratio works in our favor. Science works in our favor. And I'm still impatient that things aren't moving faster, but I am even more optimistic.
Bill Gates, thank you so much for joining us on World Have You Say. I hope that you can do it again. Already Nairobi are waving goodbye, but we all said hello. So let's just all say goodbye to Bill Gates and thank you for his time today.
Bye, Bill Gates.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Great questions.
Well, as Bill Gates leads us, thank you so much for your time today. Let's carry on talking, because we've got 20 minutes of the programme left. Talk about that optimism that Bill Gates was talking about there. He's particularly raising the issue of Africa. So I don't know if anyone in Kampala or in Nairobi wants to pick up. Oh, Nairobi waving frantically on my screen to the left. Are you feeling optimistic in Nairobi?
Yes. Hi. This is Leon from Nairobi. I'd like to talk about the education of AIDS. In some African countries, some religions say that it is immoral to talk about such things. How are we to educate them? Thank you.
Does anyone want to pick up on that?
I'm Joseph. I have a question, and my question goes, how can we cope with malaria since many people are infected with this disease?
Unfortunately, Bill has had to leave us, so he's not going to be able to answer that question. But I know that he's going to be listening back to the programme later on, so you never know, he may well be able to get back in touch with us. Let's touch on Kampala. I know hands going up there. Explain to us a little bit about that optimism Bill Gates was talking about. Are you feeling optimistic in Uganda?
Yes, we are feeling optimistic in Uganda because things are working out. For example, for the affected, if counseling systems are introduced, we shall be able to avoid stigmatizing the youth and the infected. And this all can be done with time. Yeah.
Well, this is a real opportunity to bring together students from Kenya, from Libya, from Russia, from Uganda and here in the UK. And I know that many of you have probably got questions for each other just about simple day-to-day life, what it is like to live in different places around the world. Have any of you got any questions for different students around the world? I see that Sarah in Benghazi instantly has put her hand up. Sarah, do go ahead.
Like living in Africa, like countries in Nairobi, that have these infectious diseases, I just want to know how they cope day to day, like knowing they might catch that disease and like their life is at risk.
Nairobi and Kampala, I don't know how well you could hear that question, but Sarah was saying, how do you cope day to day with the realisation that you could contract a very serious, very dangerous disease? Nairobi, do you want to respond first, and then we'll go back to Kampala?
Yes, you do. I think that proper hygiene and abstaining from such diseases will help her life. If she knows the preventations of such diseases, she won't get those diseases. So I'll just tell her to be a cool girl and stop whatever she's doing to absent those diseases.
Kampala?
And I as well think that abstinence is the best way of controlling the spread of AIDS. And as long as you abstain yourself, you'll be safe and you'll not contract the disease. Yeah.
I also see a hand up has gone up in Ekaterinburg on screen to my right. What would you like to ask?
Hi, I'm Masha. I'm from Russia. I think that in the medical, one of the most important problem it is abortions. Killing children, it is terrible. Is the problems of abortions in your country?
Does anyone want to pick up on that?
Sorry, I didn't really hear the question. Was that saying that like one of the problems in the country is abortion? Okay, I think that's a very controversial subject, first of all. But mostly in our country, I know in countries like America, it's a very hot topic in the media and is often discussed there. But I think in countries like the UK, although there's a lot of tradition, a lot of diversity and a lot of different opinions on that, I'm glad to say that we're very supportive of people having their own choice and having their own decision in that. Does anyone want to pick up on that?
Hello.
Go ahead, Nairobi.
Hillary.
I have a question. I'm Joseph. I have a question. My question is, how can we handle the matter of rape? Because it has been a very serious matter, because even the old people are raped.
Hillary in Kampala.
Thank you.
Well, I think maybe if your government was harder on cases of rape and maybe prosecuted people, then people would be scared to do it, like have really harsh punishments towards anyone caught raping, because it's not good.
Hillary in Kampala, I would say about rape, if rehabilitation centers are put up for sexual offenders, because most cases they have a problem on the brain, and sensitization on how to control and prevent such incidences would be a great idea.
Still talking about rape, I was going to say that I think about the question that he asked, there should be more power given to women when it comes to rape, because when a woman is considered lower than men in these countries, that's when the men feel like it's all right and it's good to do something like that. But if women are given exactly the same rights and they have the power to fight for whatever they want, then the men know that they cannot get away with doing something like that, and they do not have that kind of power to rape a woman.
Sarah in Benghazi is waving frantically at us.
Yes, as you were talking about rape and about females, here we've had a lot of rape victims, and the blame seems to go to the females that have been raped. It's shameful here, and I think they should have abortions if they want to, but because here it's a shame on the family, it's a shame on the woman. She gets kicked out of her house. She is treated less than a man, and they blame her for the rape. Like, do you understand what I mean?
Absolutely, Sarah. Nairobi trying to come in.
Yes, hi, this is Leon from Nairobi. I like to talk about defilement. In Kenya, they punish people or put them in prison for less terms than on rape. So, people are raping young children or girls. Not that. That's why they can not get long terms in prison.
The rape issues mainly occur during wars. Government instabilities don't reduce most cases. War in our society leads to such incidents. In our country, when war is happening, the prominent peoples or the police take advantage of the poor lives of young women or girls. Even up to 3 years, people are being raped with those people. Is that humanity?
We've got hands going up in Benghazi, in Kampala, and here in the school in southeast London.
Okay, this is Alex, by the way. I think that in certain countries, the legal age to get married is really low. So people think that it's okay to rape or have sex with young children, which is not humanity, because the child should have a say, and I think it's wrong to even touch a child in any sort of way.
Okay, thank you. I'm Naboth from Kenya. In that part of the world, you find that girls are being discriminated in terms of education, where parents prefer educating boys to girls. And also there are cultural practices that undermine the welfare of the child, like there is female genital mutilation. That one, to some extent, also lowers the dignity of the girl, and at the same time also exposes the girl to diseases like AIDS and many other things. So to protect the girl child, governments need to pass strict laws against those who defile the girl child and those who rape them. Thank you.
Sorry, you said about mutilation to young girls and stuff. I think that it's a really important issue, and I think that in our in the UK and places like that, when you first hear about that sort of thing going on, it's always very shocking to us because we don't really hear about it. So do you think that's something that should have been that should be mentioned to the rest of the world, that maybe it would be improved more if more people knew it was going on?
Exactly. I feel the issue of female genital mutilation is an issue that we should all discuss and talk about it, because it affects very many girls in Kenya and other parts of Africa. And by the end of the day, you find that the girl is humiliated. Sometimes their body parts are really tampered with, and it affects the welfare and the well-being of the girl child. So it's an issue we need to talk about as a whole world. Thank you.
Kampala?
Yeah, I'm Patricia from Kampala, and I would like to ask a question. What can be done to reduce the big ratio number between the patients and the doctors? Because here in Uganda, in most hospitals, we have few doctors and the patients are many. So some of them don't get immediate treatment and they die. So what can be done about this? Thanks.
Got so many hands up. Nairobi, they're waving so hard, I think their hands might fall off. We'll be with you in a moment. We've also got hands up here in Deptford. But I know Omar in Benghazi has had his hand up for a while. What's the point you want to make, Omar?
Again, as Mr. Gates was saying, I think that education is the way to stop all of this happening. Educating the people about how racism is wrong and how getting married at a young age may cause problems for women. That's the way to save the world right now.
Nairobi?
Hi, my name is Paulette. I think exposure to the people to learn how to treat such accidents. First aid should also be done before getting medical attention. We find in the hospitals there is a long queue of people with burns and even with bleeding. Without wasting time, people should take first aid, and then after first aid, they get medical attention to have medicine.
Hi, this is Leon from Nairobi. I'd like to talk about that point. In many poor countries, even when the doctors are learned, they move from that country to go to another country